Can I tell you a story about the wall? Thank you. Hey, it's Alzay Calhoun with Coveted Consultant. Can I tell you a story about the wall? Thank you. All right, so here's what I want to tell you about. I want to tell you about what happens in most consulting businesses, right? So level number one, you start working a job. This is where you get your first experiences. This is where you get some colleagues. This is where you get your first context around your expertise, right? At some point, you step out and you become a consultant, right? You get your first client or two or three, the business kind of works and you feel kind of good about it, right? And then at some point you decide you want to get out of being a consultant and you want to focus more in like a company. And then, but where it was so easy to go from job to consultant, it gets weird going from consultant to company and you can't quite figure out why you have all this friction. And so this is what we call the wall. And what's really frustrating about this is that you can spend a lot of money, energy, and time trying to figure this out. And let me tell you a story about a conversation that I had with somebody just a few days ago. So, personal friend of mine is an executive with a current company, right? Good company, big company. They do great things. She's currently an executive. She also functions as a consultant right now. She does some speaking engagements every now and again. She does some small client work, and this is working for her, right? So what she's trying to do, what most of us are trying to do, is expand her platform. So specifically, she's trying to take a course. There is a speaking topic that she typically does, and when people follow up with her, they really enjoy that topic. They want to know what's the next step. Is there some course I can take, or a program I can buy, or a book that you've written, etc. And she didn't have those assets built yet. So what she's going to do is that she's going to try to scale herself, that magic word, scale herself by creating a course that can be sold while she keeps working the job and functioning as a consultant. Does that make sense? Of course it does. It makes plenty of sense. I have no argument with that. Here's the thing though. So I was talking to her about the things she'd have to set up in order to sell her course effectively, right? And so I said, hey, you need to start using this platform. You might need this service, might need this software tool. Started adding it up. And the more I talked to her, the more you could kind of feel her on the phone starting to swim mentally because the details were showing up. And then I made a statement to her. I said, okay, now you got to run a business. And she was a little shocked at that statement. She kind of took a bit of offense. She said, well, I've been running a business. I said, no, that's not what I mean. And I don't mean to offend. What I mean is now you've got to operate more like a company. So just having a job is fine, right? You work the job, you work really hard. Every now and again, you get a few projects, and that works for you, right? Right now, she's speaking and she's getting some client work. Great. But now what she wants to do is she really wants to push her personal brand, her personal stature, her personal work, and really make it function more like this. Automate it, systemize it, etc. Well, I'm saying to her, or I said to her, what I'm now saying to you. You're going to hit this wall. And what seems like, oh, I just need a software tool, or I just need a coaching platform, or I just need to get an autoresponder series, ends up becoming a series of platform tools. Series of things you got to hook up and connect, and people who advise you on these things that have to do what they say, blah, 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 blah. I said to her, what I'm now saying to you as simply as I can. Inside this wall is a requirement of three things: client acquisition, client service, client retention. These things are pillars. These things are pillars. And if you plan on building a business that sits over here, these three pillars must be satisfied. There is no hack for this. There is no secret for this. There's no magic way around this. The only way you get from consultant to company is if you build these three things intentionally. And that's going to cost you some time, some energy, some money. But if you spend it intentionally, you end up where you want to be. But if you guess your way through this, you'll flush money down the toilet. How do I know? I did it.